Good morning, everybody, and a happy Monday morning to you. We're actually going to start off with kind of a short video for you guys. This one's a little short, but it does cover 3 current stories. Very interesting. We'll just have to see how this all ends up in the end. You guys know what I'm saying. So let's just jump in and cover what we have. Let's go. We're going to start off. We know that Harry got $8.5 million as inheritance, and apparently he is not going to have to pay taxes on it. Now that's a shocker because remember, he's a UK citizen, but a US resident. We know that the late Queen Elizabeth's mother, the Queen Mother, put $90 million into a trust fund for her family, and that Harry could have his share when he turned 40, according to the stipulation. Now, initially, people were saying, you have to pay tax. Even in the United States, if you inherit more than a certain amount, yes, you're supposed to pay tax. But they're saying that the way the royal family has laid everything out, they have avoided the normal tax rules. But that doesn't make sense to me because if you're in the United States and you live here, that is considered income and you have to pay tax on it. Now, according to the rules, it does say in the UK, according to His Majesty's Revenue and Customs, if you set up the trust and the person dies within 7 years, then you have to pay inheritance tax. But since it's been over 7 years since she died, you don't have to pay inheritance tax. But that is not the way it works in the United States. There is, however, upon research, no federal inheritance tax, but there is in 6 separate states. I don't know if Harry lives in one of those states. Whatever. All right, let's move on. Now, we've already discussed that Harry has been fighting a 2-year visa battle and that, he essentially lost. And we also know that the Heritage Group has filed an appeal because they want to know what's going on. They argue that the ironclad guardrails were broken and certain evidence should be reviewed in court, which was not. So in other words, according to the think tank, their ability to build a case against Harry's appeal was severely compromised. So where does that leave Harry? I mean, they're saying that the think tank thinks Harry has been treated differently. He has been treated differently. We already know that. And they're not going to stop because the U.S. election is coming up in a couple of weeks. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But that leads into the next story. If Harry loses U.S. residency, the discussion is, could he go back to the U.K.? Well, the problem is Meghan doesn't want to go back to the U.K. Not even close. Even if she had her way, she would never step foot in that country. She's unpopular. She's burnt all of her bridges. But the problem is the kids, because Archie was born there but left almost immediately, and Lilibet's growing up in the United States, and they've never met their cousins, and they don't see the king, and it's a problem. We know that Harry's been spouting off about how he can't go home with the kids because of their safety. But of course, we also know he's gone to Colombia and Nigeria, He goes, they have to live a normal life without worry of kidnapping or harm. And give me a break. And that's where we've moved into the next problem, because we know that Harry and Meghan bought a home in Portugal. And supposedly, potentially, you get the bonus of getting EU citizenship and allowing them to travel freely through the European Union's area. However, in order to get your hands on an EU passport, they have a huge setback. Are you guys ready for this? First, you have to get Portuguese citizenship. And in order to do that, you have to take a language test. So you have to prepare to speak another language. According to Global Citizen Solution, it tests the applicant's ability to use and understand everyday language and expressions. So you have to be able to speak Portuguese. Now, we've already heard that Meghan Markle speaks French fluently. This article says that Meghan speaks French. Really? Do you remember when Meghan Markle was on the show with Craig Ferguson?
Didn't.
So you speak a lot of different languages or just that?
I studied French for 8 years and now it's deplorable. I can't remember anything, which is just...
I think the word you're looking for is déplorable.
Déplorable. Yes, that's exactly what I see.
Have you ever...
You heard her. She studied French for 8 years, but then in the Variety interview, she said something different. Do you guys remember this?
I really wanted to relearn French. I had studied it for the 4 years in high school, and then it just went away.
Now, she is also claiming that she's fluent in Spanish, although if you remember during her entire tour in Colombia, nobody was allowed near her when she was talking to people. I'm believing that's because she can't speak fluent Spanish. She did say a few phrases that were obviously memorized, and there was some discussion that she had a tiny little earpiece in her ear. But yeah. They can also apply for citizenship only if they have 5 years of uninterrupted residency. That's not going to happen. Having descendants from the country, well, Meghan could suddenly claim she's part Portuguese, or being married for 3 years to a Portuguese citizen. But most relevant to them is investing $500,000 in investment funds, scientific research, or a local company or business that opens the door to applying for the citizenship. But if they can't speak Portuguese, yeah, they're not getting that. So I'm going to have to remind you guys, it wasn't that long ago that we found out that Meghan claimed that she was from Malta. She had Malta heritage. And these pictures came out that she got this fashion magazine to pay for a trip to Malta. And she went around and she said, oh, it's so wonderful to see people who look like me and know where I came from. And, she put up this whole big thing. Only to find out that her family moved to Malta. They were actually of Irish descent. She didn't have one drop of Malta blood. So then, of course, we all know she came out with I'm 40% Nigerian, something that she's never proven to anybody, something she's never shown to anybody. And then she went and made the Nigerian trip all about her. Looking back on it, she probably should have said, oh, I'm part Portuguese. Imagine if she had done that, how much easier things would have been for her and Harry. She picked the wrong country. All right, we're going to finish off with this story. We know that back in March was when Meghan announced she was doing ARO, American River Orchard, and she launched the Instagram page and she set up the website. And since then, people are, unsubbing, unsubscribing. And there's a massive decline in interest. Initially, everybody was all over it, but now, no. We know what happened. She rushed to launch early because she didn't want William to get the attention for the Diana Awards. We know what happened here. Now, the articles are coming out saying it was Richard Eden. I'm sorry, I just don't believe that. But anyway, here we are 8 months later. They haven't started selling anything. She hasn't been able to hire a CEO for the company because everybody's already heard what a horrible boss she can be. She hasn't been able to get her trademarks in order. Supposedly, this is all going to go with her Netflix cooking show, but they can't launch the business, so they can't do the Netflix cooking show. You guys get what's going on? If they can't get that stuff together relatively soon, her show is not even going to launch at Netflix, because who in the world would watch it if the website isn't available where you can buy anything? It's the weirdest thing, I'm telling you. My goodness. All right, you guys, you know what to do. Hit the like and the subscribe button and the bell. Leave your comments, then go down into the description box and you're going to find the link to video number 2. Follow me over. Let's go.